So last week, we split the atom between influence and charisma, and how charisma gets you in the room, but influence is what moves it. This week, let's get tactical. How do we actually do this? Because when somebody calls a person charismatic, they rarely ask what kind. That's the problem. Charisma gets flattened like a personality type, or even worse, a genetic trait. Either you have it, or you're performing it, or you don't. But charisma isn't a personality. It's a lever. And there's more than one way to pull it. So I want to discuss the 5 types of charisma that are most often cited by leadership psychologists, researchers, basically that show up across industries and personality types. You can use more than one at a time. It's basically what is actually needed in the room, the audience at hand. So let's break them down. Number 1, high conviction charisma. This is the charisma of unreasonable belief. Like the kind that makes people say yes, even when logic says no. Extreme confidence in your idea. Steve Jobs is a great example of making people feel like this. They absolutely need this piece of glass technology in their hand, no matter the cost. That it's absolutely necessary for life. Or the founder, a startup founder that's excellent at being able to convince, it's like 5 people to quit their safety job, their corporate jobs, to take a chance on a product that does not yet exist. Conviction changes the temperature in the room. It makes you feel like it's possible. But if it's not grounded, conviction can veer into arrogance or sound like narcissism dressed up as a vision. You don't want that. So to the antidote to combat that, purpose and humility. You can't fake it. You have to actually be confident and believe in your idea, or there will be holes cracked. Number 2, authentic charisma. People feel like you're really saying what you mean, no matter how it's going to land. Even if it lands sideways, they can count on you. Joe Rogan is a great example of this. Like him or hate him, or like him or dislike him, he is known for saying what he believes, not filtering his opinions, and that's part of what makes him iconic. Just like a colleague who doesn't sugarcoat. You go to them because you know they're going to tell you the truth, even if it's uncomfortable. People trust consistency. And in a world where people are calculating reactions, authentic charisma disarms them by saying the thing out loud and meaning it. Speaking of disarming, number 3, humor. And this is not necessarily like stand-up comedy humor. It's not always clever. It's the kind of humor that diffuses tension. It says, hey, we're all human here. Ryan Reynolds is a great example of this. He has like a dry, self-deprecating wit that even turns brand ads into moments of connection. He's not above the joke. He is the joke. And he embraces it. It disarms people. Or the team lead who calls out the chaos of a Monday morning meeting, right? Just enough sarcasm to make people laugh and listen. Humor lowers defenses, creates a sense of shared understanding. And done well, it's the fastest way to earn access. Done poorly or too often, it can seem inappropriate, or that you're constantly deflecting any kind of vulnerability or turning real connection into a punchline. 4, empathetic charisma. Okay, this one's often missed, and this is like more in one-to-one setting. It is the person who hears what you didn't say. The manager who sees the burnout behind the missed deadline. Oprah, obviously, but also the friend or the person who never interrupts and just listens and makes you feel heard. We think charisma is about presence, but sometimes it's about witnessing. Not energy out, but resonance in. And number 5, energetic charisma. Energetic charisma is the spark. It's this kind of aliveness that changes the room that you walk into. It's lit up a room. It's not about being loud, it's about being lit up. The kind of presence is kinetic, it's contagious. It invites people to rise with you. And energy is contagious, but you actually have to be feeling it. The goal is not to collect charisma like cars or handbags, to recognize what you already have access to within your system and learn how to dial it up with intention depending on the goal, the audience, the room. Because charisma isn't something you chase, it is something you channel. And when you do, it stops becoming performance, it starts becoming power. So next week, charisma might open the door, but credibility is what keeps you in the room. I want to break down the layers of trust and why being smart is never enough. So subscribe. For those of you who haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel, my newsletter, or share it with somebody who leads or who communicates or needs to gain power, accessibility, because charisma isn't an end game. It's just the first tool. Bye guys, see you next week.